I feel like Jerry Jones is going to be like, whatever you do, do not let Micah Parsons go off on us. I don't care if we lose 52 to nothing. We're not going to let Micah Parsons get 5 sacks today. Yo, what's up? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Connor Rogers is here. It's a Tuesday pod. We're back. We're back, baby. Hey, it was a tie ball game. The trade, it's all justified now. I mean, it just was all worth it. It just showed us everything. They didn't really need Micah Parsons. No big deal. Let's just make our conclusion now after 4 weeks. That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel like that was kind of his answer after. It was a little bit like, hey,
like
tie
justification?
game.
Yeah.
Like,
he only had like one cheapy sack.
Right. Exactly right. But they did a good job against Micah Parsons, that's for sure. It was a fun game.
Well, like you said.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
They weren't going to let it. The offensive line knew it was a big week. And it was one of those things where I felt like, and I maybe should have emphasized this more. I know I said it once last week. I might have said it to Forio. Like, their offensive line was not going to be intimidated by the aura of, ooh, Micah Parsons is coming, right? They've seen the moves.
That's the difference.
Right. They're used to the person. They're used to the moves. So they did a good job, and they handled that, and Jerry can be happy for the time being.
It felt like Dak also in his peripheral had his, like, he knew exactly
don't
when.
let that
it was
happen.
a sixth sense.
Right.
So it was awesome, though. Listen, we got plenty to do today.
He was legitimately mad.
Yeah, no.
He was like, what? And which I didn't think it was a sack either. I really thought he got like maybe a half yard.
It felt like a run stop.
Right, exactly.
But they all count the same at the end of the year in the box score when you talk about contract negotiations and all pros and everything like that. Film review day, Chris. Film review of the Chiefs' revitalized offense with Xavier Worthy back out on the field. And a new segment, the upper echelonce.
Yeah.
Do we have some new top-tier running backs, some new top-tier skill players? So don't go anywhere from that.
I think it's a good combo, actually.
I do. Welcome back from Dallas.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You enjoy your time?
I mean, I didn't really have time. I mean,
did you even ever sleep there, or you were in and out?
I slept for like 3 hours.
Okay.
Right?
You took a nap in Dallas.
It was a rough, few days because, like, of course, we did Oregon Penn State that night. Got home probably around 11ish, right? Maybe right before 11. Had a pack for the night and do all of that.
Are you a last-minute packer?
I'm not a last-minute packer, but I didn't pack like that morning before I came to NBC for the full day, right? So I got home, I packed, I did that, shower, do all that, and you go, oh, man, it's almost 1 o'clock now. And then it's like, whoa, I've got to get up at 4:30. I have a car picking me up at 4:30.
Right, can't miss that.
So I went like 2 nights in a row with like basically 3.5 hours of sleep, right? So today I was a little foggy, but I slept damn good last night.
And then what you got is a doubleheader on Monday Night Football.
Right. Doubleheader on Monday Night Football. I got home for 2 hours, and Pete's like, hey, send your notes whenever you're ready of all the stuff. Whenever you're ready. And I was like, yeah, Pete, I came home from like not sleeping for 48 hours. And I was like, let me turn on the film and grind right now.
Robot Chris.
Before the doubleheader. Right? So up yours, Pete Demolitolitis.
Oh, my God. Yeah, trying to program Robot Chris.
Right.
I was reading the group chat, and I was like, well, I was with Chris all day Saturday.
Yeah.
I know where he was Sunday.
Yeah.
There's no shot right now that he burned the midnight oil.
I did. I got home at like barely before 5 o'clock yesterday, early evening, and the game started at 7. Yes, I was like, yeah, Pete. I sat down and I was like, let me grind through the tape right now.
And then, unfortunately,
then we had games.
It felt like the most Thursday night, Monday night ever, the style of the games.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we'll start with the Broncos, who handled the Bengals quite easily. I mean, the Broncos did a lot of things well in this game, notably running the ball.
Yeah.
But, Chris, it just feels like everything is hard for the Bengals right now. It's not just Jake Browning, obviously, but it's like Jake Browning starting is exposing how much Joe Burrow can keep the ship afloat on his own.
I'm glad you're saying that. I actually was just talking about this with Matt Casey, producer, a little bit before you even walked in here. I was like, I feel like the Bengals are actually more the story than the Broncos. Just in the fact that, I mean, it's abysmal. It's pitiful. It's like there's no chance either side of the ball. And you're exactly right. I mean, at first I went, well, this will be a little bit of an excuse for Zach Taylor to go, hey, Joe Burrow's hurt. So, that's why we're not as good. But for the way they have looked, I would go, no, this is actually now going to a point where we're going, wow, Joe Burrow covered that many holes. Right. Like, we're not even capable of being competitive in a football game, and it isn't for Jacksonville just screwing things up in a second half of a game. They'd be 1-3 and looking horrible. Right, that's to me to where it looks more than anything. And that's where I think Zach Taylor and company got to be a little scared because they're showing right now that what's the value that they're adding to the team? I mean, nothing. The coaches are adding no value to the team. what we're seeing and what we're thinking right now is that, man, Joe Burrow and his ability to execute that offense to perfection and then also make plays that are above and beyond what the playbook delivers, and, of course, the two receivers that go along with it, they're the ones hiding everything. Yep. They're the ones making the whole thing go. And I think that's where the Cincinnati Bengals got to be careful is they're going to get on the hot seat if this continues, because people are going to go, oh, my gosh, we didn't realize this was so bad and you guys aren't capable of doing anything unless Joe Burrow's here. That's at least my first thought, so I'm right there with you, Connor.
Completely. Just an uncompetitive game. The Bengals were outgained by 574 yards in their last two games. That is the worst two-game differential in their franchise history. 8 of the 10 drives have gained 15 yards or less. I mean, it's just uncompetitive football. And you talk about one of the best players in the NFL, Jamar Chase. There's just nothing going. I mean, 8 targets, 5 catches, 23 yards. It's the 4th fewest receiving yards by Chase in a game in his career.
Yeah, I've never been in love with their offense.
Right.
I've liked their offense in the fact that, when it's at its best, okay, Burrow knows how to be surgical within it. And what I've liked when I've given their offense praise is that there is a point in the year when they are functioning at a high level with Joe Burrow that they get to a point where I think they're good at breaking teams down a little bit, and then they can package their plays right together and go, Joe will get us in the right play. This team either blitzes or plays cover 4. Joe will get us in the blitz play if they're going to blitz, and we got a good cover 4 play, right, if they don't blitz and they play cover 4. And that's where Joe was great. But that's, to me, the greatness of their offense. I don't ever look at it, and I've never looked at it and gone, oh, wow, it's really unbelievably creative. It's basic West Coast-ish. I think you've heard me say that before. Right. And, basic West Coast-ish is just not always going to get it done unless you have some special players. Now, they have the special receivers, but they don't have the special quarterback to go with that. And you're seeing against a defense like Sean Payton, who, of course, knows the West Coast, and a guy like Vance Joseph, who's been around forever, they're like basic West Coast. If you're just going to throw that at us, we know a lot of these rules just as good as you guys do. And I think you're seeing that. And it's just, it's pitiful. And I hear people go, well, maybe they'll trade for Russell Wilson. What's that going to do? Tell me what that's going to do. He's going to come in and learn an offense, and a guy that's very conservative and doesn't really work his system anyways, right, and is known for that, he's going to come in and what? They're just going to go, oh, he can throw the moon ball.
Appease the receiver.
Yeah,
and
the teams are just going to go, hey, let's leave Jamar Chase outside one-on-one so Russell can throw the moon ball. No. I mean, there's more issues than that. But, yeah, it is bad on both sides of the ball in Cincinnati.
So the combo seems to be around Jake Browning as much as there's more to this roster and this team, and you nailed it with the coaching. 2 years ago when Burrow was injured, Browning went 4-3 in his 7 starts.
Right.
What do you think is different this time around, where it's not that they're losing, because I think a lot of people would pick them to lose. They were 7.5-point underdogs in this game.
Yep.
It's just that it's non-competitive football, Chris.
Yeah, right. It's. I think the thing that I would say is different is when he took over a few years ago, and still it wasn't perfect, but it was good. It was better than what people expected. So they're right within that. Right, I think everybody was like, whoa, they blew it out of the water. Right, yeah. They were just like, wow, this is amazing. But off of that, what's different there is that was later in the season, where the team got a chance to function and was starting to function at kind of a high level with Burrow. And then, okay, Burrow got out, he got hurt, and now he takes over. And it's like, wait, the team is playing pretty good right now. So he got to be able that. Right now, they were 2-1 going into the game last night, but they were outplayed in all 3 games they had played, right, to that point, in my opinion. The Browns game, even though they won that, they were outplayed. They were outplayed in the Jacksonville game, and we know they were demolished, the last week up in Minnesota.
Yep.
So with all of that, right, they're still in this kind of early season finding their way, and I think we've been tricked by the record. But the quality of play, if you just watch the quality of play and didn't know the scoreboard, I think, of the Cincinnati Bengals the last few weeks, you'd sit there and go, oh, they're 0-2 or 0-3 to start the season again. I mean, it's not like it was like you're blown out of the water by how they performed against the Browns or the Jaguars. And, of course, the last two games is absolutely pitiful. So I think that, to me, is probably the difference. And the defense was a little bit better then than it is right now. That's the other thing, too.
With Lou Anarumo.
Yeah, with Lou Anarumo, not last year, but the year before that, and when Jake Browning did take over, right? It was the year before that.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah,
yep.
That defense was, I'm not going to say it was great, but it wasn't what it is right now, where it's like, whoa, you can do anything you want on their defense right now, and Al Golden's trying to figure out how to make it work with his scheme and the personnel they got, and you could see it's just a disaster right now.
And I think with a backup quarterback, you have to be able to play on some kind of run script. And the defense has them in a throw script all the time, and they're not good enough running the ball anyway.
No, they're not. They're not
so
exactly.
Like, we could say what we want about Browning, who is not playing well. Nobody's hiding that. But they also can't play in a backup quarterback script to set him up for success.
They don't seem to be able to play any other way other than, hey, can Joe Burrow just surgically pick us apart? Can Joe Burrow go 31 of 38 for 305 and 4 touchdowns? And if he can't do that, wait, what's our other avenue of winning? Oh, wait, we don't have one. And that's where we are. Now, they also played a Denver team that we know has got some talent, and I think better than their 1-2, right? They could easily be 3-0 going into last night, or 4-0 as we sit here right now. They went to toe-to-toe and messed it up against the Indianapolis Colts. They went toe-to-toe with the Chargers. I'm not going to say they messed it up, but they had chances to control that football game too, right? So they were a team that was possessed last night, and also I think seeing the blood in the water a little bit and going, hey, this team sucks.
We're going to roll
attack and let's be aggressive. And they did it the right way. They were aggressive on offense, and on defense they went, hey, you might have heard the guys announce, and Troy and Joe Buck said it last night. They're playing a little more conservative tonight. They're not blitzing because they were like, the only way they beat us is if Jamar Chase just goes deep, one-on-one, if T. Higgins goes deep. And they have a good enough front four that they shouldn't have to blitz as much as they did the first few weeks. I think they were over-aggressive the first few weeks. That was my takeaway, and I think I said that to you on a few of the pods. They gotta chill out a little bit. There's enough talent there on that team to where they don't need to take as many schematical chances on the defensive side of the ball as they were taking. So I'm interested to see what they do going forward. But obviously, they totally shut down that Bengals offense. And then the Broncos offense, like you talked about, looked pretty damn good. And Bo Nix, to me, continues to look good, physically good. It's not perfect yet, but I like the way Bo Nix looks.
That was going to be my next question. I think the story around Bo Nix the first 3 weeks is he was just leaving throws on the field that you expect him to make. So. Did you see some kind of turning point last night?
There were still a few throws.
Yeah.
I think, he had the R.J. Harvey throw up the seam, right? Do you remember that? Yeah. He came out of the backfield, like the old Kansas City Chiefs Kareem Hunt play. He runs up the seam. Maybe R.J. Harvey could have caught it, but it's no, it's a running back. You got to put it right on him. You can't miss that. The interception, I feel like there's been a few throws in every game where I just go, it's a hair too aggressive. I like aggressive. I'm all for let's throw it down the field. But also, in every game so far, I feel like he's made a mistake a little bit out of over-aggressiveness. Even week 1 against the Titans where they won that football game, there was a few turnovers in that one where I was like, it's just we don't need to fit that ball into the window at this moment. So that would be my only concern with him. But the thing I do like is, of course, he's extremely comfortable in the pocket. I don't know about you, but his arm, I think he's got a pretty damn strong arm.
He does. It's stronger than I thought it would be when I first ever watched him.
Yeah, sure. I know.
It's definitely stronger than I expected because he's not the biggest guy.
No, right. He's not. But he's letting it go, and he's throwing with authority.
Yes.
And you could tell at the very least, even when he's aggressive, it's like he likes it, and he's going to let it rip. He's not second-guessing himself. And I think other stuff will get fixed as we go forward. But if they get the run game going, and they can get R.J. Harvey going. Dobbins was impressive, don't get me wrong. But I really do like R.J. Harvey and some of the things he can bring to the table. If they get that going, that'll be huge for them because then that can open up Sean Payton's play-action playbook to a whole different level.
The next two for Denver, they're at Philadelphia. Then they play the Jets in London the following week. For the Bengals, Chris, I think everybody's wondering, is this ever going to get better? Their next two is home against Detroit, who's on a warpath right now.
Right.
And then they go to Green Bay. So, while you sit there and look at, okay, Brian Flores and Vance Joseph, kind of a tough test for Jake Browning, I don't think these next two teams are any layups.
No, they're not layups. We know Detroit's still a really damn good
They're out
defense,
to kill right now.
And they're out to kill. They take more chances. They're going to play aggressive. And the bad thing about when you play the Cincinnati Bengals and when they play Detroit, it's going to be they're going to score 60. So you guys going to be able to keep pace with that?
Right.
Because, I mean, the way the Bengals – what are the Bengals going to stop on the Detroit Lions offense? And maybe the same thing with the Green Bay Packers the week after.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Green Bay could score 6.
I mean, I would think, and I have no idea because I don't look at lines early in the week, but I would think the Lions line right now over the Bengals has got to be rivaling the highest point spread of what we saw from the Saints-Bills last week.
I think it opened at 10 the last time I
looked.
Holy
shit. Well, jump on it now.
And I was shocked, too. I actually thought it would be a 2-touchdown spread.
Jump on it. Hurry.
That could be one where – and it's still at 10.
Wow.
Now.
That would be something I would jump on. But yeah, I of course I don't see any silver lining for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Broncos I do. The Broncos, of course, I think are a really good football team. You know, there's a point to me, and this is why I said the run game's got to get going, where I feel like maybe they miss one other big-time weapon on their offensive side of the ball, right? Just a guy, again, who can take a slant and go to the house or beat you over the top. Like, I know Cortland Sutton can beat you over the top from time to time, but he's not a blazer.
No.
You know, Marvin Mims has some capabilities of doing that stuff, but they got to get him the ball in space a little bit there. So maybe one of these guys jumps up and becomes that guy, and hopefully last night was kind of the start of that because there is potential there. It's just like, wait, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Franklin? Is it going to be R.J. Harvey? They need somebody else to step up with Sutton, and then the run game, and then you go, uh-oh, now they got something there in Denver. I'm still a believer in the Broncos and the Eagles. Yeah, they're going to give the Eagles, I would think, problems. It's going to be a tight football game. I expect that to be close on Sunday.
And we're going to talk about the Eagles this week on one of the pods. The other game in this one, much closer game but lower stakes. Both the Jets and the Dolphins 0-3 going into this game. The Dolphins win 27-21. They get their first win of the season. I think there's a couple of storylines here.
Yeah.
Number one, Tua was kept clean. He wasn't really touched in this one, was not sacked. He tore up man coverage, which has been by the way, this has been the story for the Jets. The Jets want to play all this man coverage. They've gotten shredded. I think Baker was 10 of 12 against man coverage against the Jets, and one of the 2 incompletions was the Evans slant that you never see Evans drop, and he dropped it.
Right.
And then Tua, 9 for 11, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darren Waller resurrected here.
Right.
Made it look easy. I think this game, you know, you give the Dolphins credit because they really needed a win, but the Jets' sloppiness was what stood out to me in this game. Steve Wilkes, I don't know how much longer the Jets can keep this up.
That's that's what I've been saying.
It's bad.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I mean, again, and here it's Aaron Glenn. You're the coach of the defense. You're a defensive coach. You can't just be the head coach. You got to get involved here. You're only going to hurt yourself. You're digging your own grave by doing this type of stuff. Right? You came here as a defensive coach. Everybody expected the defense to be better and make more plays like it did up in Detroit. And instead, you've gotten worse and you're letting up more plays. That's the biggest thing here. And, yeah, I mean, Brandon Stevens isn't great man-to-man. We're seeing Sauce Gardner has got issues when he's got to play man-to-man the whole field.
And they're calling the grabbing.
They are definitely calling it.
They don't have the safeties to help them.
They don't have the safeties to help them, right? Michael Carter, I mean, again, he's a solid player, but I'm not sure I sit down and look at a lockdown man-to-man type of guy all the time there. So that, and then, you couple that with – I guess what I would say, I'm a little disappointed. Well, this is a little disappointed in their defense and their defensive line. I thought it would be better, more disruptive, pressuring the quarterback, stopping the run better, all of that. And none of that's been good. So, that all looks like it's on Aaron Glenn. And as I've been saying for 2 weeks now, I think he's got to get much more involved on the defensive side of the ball. And, I would like to see him call the defensive plays on that side of the ball and everything. I just think he's making a big mistake right now in that department.
Glenn, after the game, said there's no way you can win any game with 13 penalties and 3 turnovers. It just can't happen. This is now the second game that the Jets have fumbled a kick return. They lost to the Steelers essentially because they fumbled
of the Gibson fumble, right?
So they've been an absolute mess on special teams.
The fumble on the first drive by Braylon Allen as you're going down the field and you're going to get some momentum and you're going, hey, this is a good first drive. Right. Everything's great that way. You had to feel positive about that. And that was, a backbreaker there because the Jets, to me, they have to play a certain way. And what they were,
absolutely have to.
Right. It's got to be chew up the clock, right? We're physically running the ball. Fields makes just a play here and there in the pass game, and then he makes a play running for us here and there. But that's the way they want to play the game. Slow the game down to where now it's like, hey, we chewed clock up, or maybe I should say speed it up. Slow it down as far as we're going to run the ball, control the clock that way, and limit the possessions on the other side of the ball and be ahead. And now some of our crazy blitzes and our man-to-man will work in those type of situations. It has to fall a certain way, and they can't get the game on those terms as of yet because of sloppiness, bad plays, and everything else. And also on top of that, what I would say about the Jets is just that, the passing game's got to deliver. It's 2025. It didn't really deliver. Like, the stats look okay. They're going to look efficient. Okay, yeah, but sure.
They lied.
But a lot of them are late in the game, and the game was over, and you're not really able to rely on a drop-back passing game or a passing game when the game is competitive and we're there at 10-3. Or no, it's 17-3. We got to open up and do it. It's like, no, we got to stay patient with the run game. I know Garrett Wilson's stats are okay. I get it. But at the same time, they're not dangerous in the pass game. So there's issues there on both sides of the ball for the New York Jets.
On the Dolphins side of it, Mike McDaniel's probably been the biggest hot seat coach throughout the season so far.
Right.
I think, though, the big storyline of this game right now is Tyreek Hill, brutal injury. So he dislocates his knee. He tore his ACL and other ligaments. He's having the surgery today. This isn't like a Tyreek Hill's out for the year injury.
What?
This is a Tyreek Hill could be. We don't know when in 2026 we will see him, if we see him.
Hey, this is first off, when it happened, I knew it. It
looked horrendous.
My wife heard, I went, oh, and then before they cut away, you could see he was holding his leg up, and I went, oh, no, his leg's crooked. I said it, and I was like, I couldn't look. I knew it was bad. I knew it right away. I did not know it was Tyreek right away. I did not. I was like, oh, the Dolphins receivers really hurt, and they went to commercial, and then they came back, and I was like, holy shit, that was Tyreek? I didn't realize that was Tyreek. That is, at his age, that kind of injury, next year is not going to be 100% Tyreek Hill, right? You wonder if he ever gets back to, his ultimate explosive capabilities, especially here in a part of his career where, he's starting to go downhill. I mean, he's not just the bona fide slam dunk fastest guy I'm going to run by you in football anymore. There's some other guys that I think challenge him in that department now where, like, for about 6 or 7 or 8 years, it was literally like, no, there's no challenge.
Right.
Like, he is by far the scariest guy in the NFL. The other aspect of it, it's a huge blow to the Miami Dolphins.
Long-term,
everything
short
term. Right, exactly.
Yeah. You want to know what his cap hit is for next year?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's about $52 million.
Exactly right.
It's high-end quarterback.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, you could – capologists can
they could split it probably June 1st and all that
but
type
I'm
of
just
stuff.
saying, like, he's a giant chunk of their cap allocation because of how important he is to that team.
Important to their team. They've overpaid stars. That's why I call them the star team. That's what they are, and they keep getting back by these stars is what I want to say. But, like, to your point right there with that, like, you like that one?
That's
you can steal it.
I actually might bring it to fantasy football happy hour.
Bring it there. You can be like, you know what? I learned this line this week. But you're right about the short-term play. I mean, he does so much more for their offense than just what the stats say.
Yeah.
People have to game plan for Tyreek Hill still. People play coverages going, oh, man, if Tyreek's here, we can't play what we want to play. We got to change it up. And it opens up everything else for everybody else on that offense. So it hurts from that standpoint. And then to what you said, I mean, he was their biggest bargaining chip. If things fall apart here at the trade deadline, and let's say the Steelers or the Chiefs or somebody, or just whoever, we need a receiver for the last final run. We think he can help us. That's gone now. Or in the offseason, trading him. All that's gone. And that, to me, is not only a blow to Tyreek Hill in his career, it's a blow to Tua in the offense right now. And, of course, overall, I think to Miami's overall plans as an organization, you can't use Tyreek Hill in any negotiation for a trade or anything like that now, and you're stuck with him with the contract next year. Because of this injury, you're not going to be able to get out of it, even if you did want to post June 1st him and cut him and split that cap difference in half. So, yeah, that's big, and I hurt for Tyreek as far as he's always fun to watch, and he's a legend of the sport.
So that injury happened with about 13 minutes left of the third quarter. To kind of enhance your point, Miami's offense didn't do a lot after that.
No.
I mean, it looked like they were on easy mode the first half, and all the way up to the injury.
Yeah.
Because they were moving again after the kick return fumble. It just shows, I think the thing that I always enjoy that you point out is how vital he is to their run game.
Yeah.
Because of the boxes that Etienne and Ollie Gordon get to
They're
run
always
into.
light in the box because you're always like, damn, we can't like just man up Waddle and Tyreek over here in the slot. Like we gotta put somebody on the top of them, And not only on the top of them, we have to be worried that one of them's going to run one of these deep crossers where we got to have a safety over there too in case they run over that way, right? So that's where it's like it's hard to be aggressive to stop the Dolphins' run game. I'm one that's sitting here and sticking up for Mike McDaniel a little bit because I think his offense is still damn good, and he's finding ways to formulate it around Tua while being handcuffed by some of the things in the offense, including Tua. He did a good job staying patient with the run, but we're going to see, because now defenses are going to be a little more bold in certain things and go, well, we like our one quarter against Waddle. That'll be okay. We can do that. Now we can stop all this other stuff that they do really creatively, and we'll see where that goes. But that's a big blow to the Dolphins going forward here.
Last one for you on this game. Yeah. This is a little bit of a self-serving one.
Yeah,
when they're down 2 scores in the second half, the Jets, and you see them running on 3rd and 5, does it like in my head what cross was, if that's how you're playing, you probably need to put Tyrod Taylor in the game. Did you ever think, because I don't mind playing Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But if you're in that script, you're playing like there's 7 quarters left in the game. You have to let him throw, or you have to bench him. I don't think you can have it both ways.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it goes back to our original conversation. Right. You're right. It's like the game has to play a certain way here for them. They don't want to open it up and win the game with the pass game or rely on it. And what did they do on that 4th down after they got close there? Because I know the announcers, they were both like, well, they knew they were going to go for a 4th. That's why did they end up punting it on that one?
Yeah. There was one drive where it felt like they were playing for a 4th and short, but they got stuffed. So then they punted.
Yes,
because they were probably thinking, okay, we can get this to 4th and 2 off the 3rd down run.
Right.
But the Dolphins finally were like, they will not throw the football. We are going to slant and sell out towards the run that way, and
it's hard to win, to your point,
really
in the
hard.
NFL when you play that way.
You either
right now.
take off the training wheels and just say we're going to die by the sword.
Exactly
here.
Right.
Or instead, it was a slow death.
Sink or swim.
It was a slow death.
Yeah, no, and their passing game stats are very misleading, and in the competitive part of the game, they are by far one of the least teams out there that is relying on the pass game to help their offense.
Right.
The drop back pass game especially. And they're not that talented of a run team and everywhere else in the team where they can just totally void that area of offense. That's an issue going forward. And that's where Tyrod gives them a little advantage, is Tyrod definitely would be better in the drop back pass game for sure.
We're going to take our first break. When we're back, Chris is taking a look at the Chiefs' revitalized offense that got going against the Ravens in a blowout from Week 4. Week 4 film review. The Chiefs, Chris, alive and well against the Ravens of all teams. I'm not going to lie, it surprised me how much of a difference Xavier Worthy's presence makes.
Totally. I mean, if you want to start with like a headline, right? There's 3 things I think you can jump out with. One is Xavier Worthy opens up the field. He takes pressure off their offense a little bit. And what I mean by that is, it like we've seen, like everything's hard for the Chiefs so far. 14 play, 75-yard drive, right? All that. Yeah. He allows some of those drives to be 5-play, 75-yard drive, right? Because he can rip off a reverse or one big throw down the field, and you go, oh man, we didn't have to work so hard 7 plays to get 30 yards. We got 30 yards on 1 play here, right? So, and within that, with those explosive plays, it changes the way the defense approaches you a little bit. They start to go, wait, they can do that? And, he can run by us when we play this coverage? Oh, no. All right, wait, hold on. We got to readjust a few things there. That would be like the first headline of what he does. The second would be, man, the Ravens defense is not good, and we're going to dive into that, right? I mean, there's issues everywhere. And then the third thing is, and you've heard me say this before, is you got to be elite at something. If you want to be good, you got to be elite at something. You got to be so good at something that when a team plays you, they go, we like to play this, but we can't against them because they're so good at this. We have to change kind of what we do. And what they did elite, the Chiefs' offense in this game, was the quick passing game,
which you've been saying,
which I've been saying, right? And I like to pat myself on the back a little bit.
You've been consistent with that one,
but I think it's their only avenue as I sit here right now. The quick passing game with the RPO, that changed the Ravens in this game a little bit, because they were like, oh no, he's just going to cut us. It's going to be 1,000 cuts by death here. He's just going to 7 yards, 6 yards, and make every right decision and throw the ball. And then what happened? All of a sudden they were like, all right, let's play man to man. Let's blitz. And we know it's hard to blitz Mahomes. You're not going to get trick Mahomes very much blitzing, if ever. Maybe you get him one time, and then after that, he's going to be all over it.
I like 1,000 cuts by death.
1,000 cuts by death? You like that? What is the real saying?
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Right.
Yes. Yours is better.
Okay,
let's
good.
go with that.
Yeah, as usual, the Simmsism's better than the real thing.
We're really cooking with these
But
right
that, to me, is what is better and was better of this football game. Now, what we need to see is it sustainable, or was it more the Ravens' bad defense that, of course, allowed them to be so elite in the short passing game and the RPOs and all that? But either way, I think it's a good start. And the Chiefs this week got who the hell are the Chiefs playing this week? Hold on. The Jaguars, right. That's something they're going to worry about for Monday Night Football. It's like, I don't want him to just pick us apart with all these short passes. We got to change some things. And then, of course, that leads to them going to pick plays and down the field shots and everything that way. So that's what was good for the Chiefs.
Right. 17 to 22 in the quick game, 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's all great. But what really matters is they were averaging 6.5 yards per attempt in the quick game. Mm-hmm. So, like, you can look at the quick game and be like, okay, they completed all the passes, but were you just getting 2 or 3 yards? When you're getting 6.5 yards per attempt in the quick game, you're putting yourself in second and manageable every single time.
And
or converting on second down.
Exactly right. And they're tough to beat that way. And, so that's 6.5 yards per attempt, and it's even more per completion. Right? So you look at some of those plays they're completing, I bet you that's probably closer to like 8.5 now, to where you go, man, when every time they complete it, it's 2nd and 2, like Connor just said, or 2nd and 1. And there's real value in that. Mahomes is throwing the ball awesome. He's throwing it awesome. That's the one. The deep ball, I still go, man, would you just throw it a little higher? But at least he hit a few in this game, certainly. But everything else he's throwing, I just go, wow, it's coming out of his hand clean. He's putting it right where he wants it and all of that. Now, there's all that, and that's good. And Xavier Worthy changes that. And Rashee Rice has only got one more game. And when he comes back, watch out, right? I think that's what they're excited for. And that's when they think they're going to explode, just talking to people there in Kansas City of like, when we got Rashee and we got Xavier and we got Hollywood, we're a different football team and we will be tough to defend. And they're just trying to hold down the fort until that day comes.
I think we got to talk about the Ravens.
Of course we did.
Because it was awesome for the Chiefs. Yeah. But, man, it just feels like it's gone from bad to worse for this Baltimore team. I want to get into the fallout on the offensive side of the ball, but first I want to get into specifically what was going on with their defense in this game, because we've seen that without Matabike and other players, they can't stop the run. But now it feels like the back end is just falling apart. Like Marlon Humphrey is supposed to be a star corner. He doesn't look like a star corner, but it's deeper than him.
Yeah, no, it's like Marlon Humphrey's good, but he's not shut down like in the prime of his career anymore. We're on the downslope. I mean, that's just the plain and simple facts of it. I got so much respect for him. He's a hell of a player. But, yeah, he's not what he was 3 and 4 years ago, where they could just go, we don't care where the best receiver is, in the slot, in the bunch. You just play him man-to-man and fight through everything. They're going to pick you, but we don't care. Still cover him. And, he used to get bad press because of that a little bit. They put him in, like, the most unenviable positions you could ever put a corner in. But, yeah, he's not the same. Chidobe, here's the bottom line. They're slow as hell on defense. They're slow. We know the pass rush is slow, and that's not good. And now they're size deficient in this inside and all of that. And, yeah, John Jenkins is there, and I know he's huge. But, goddamn, it's year 13. He's not really very good anymore. They don't got enough size to stop the run. They don't have enough speed and pass rushers. And then their back seven, I would say, is one of the slower in football. Their linebackers are slow as hell. Chidobe Awuzie can't run. All right? So Marlon Humphrey's not what he used to be. We know we got Kyle Hamilton, but he's not known to be a blazer in speed that way.
The only fast guy is Nate Wiggins.
Exactly right.
He's the only one.
That's the only guy.
Like, even Malachi Starks is not known for being fast.
Exactly right.
That's not his instincts.
You look, what really popped to me is I was watching I watched this last out of all the stuff I watched. And compared to other defenses I watched on film, I just went, man, right away it popped to me. Like the fourth play, I was like, the Ravens are slow. Like I saw a short pass by the Chiefs and everybody rallying the ball. And I want to be like, man, everybody I watched this morning and this early afternoon is way faster than the Ravens rallying to the ball. And that's when it really popped to me. So now, okay, they're getting picked apart by Mahomes in zone, the quick pass game right away. Then they play man, and the Chiefs are like, great, let's take a shot down the field to Xavier. Let's do a few pick plays. Let's have the back line up over on the weak side of the formation and come out the front door, right? And all of a sudden, they get to their man-to-man plays, and the Ravens can't keep up with that either. Right. So they're in a tough spot. And not only is the scheme lack creativity, but then they don't have players that you look at are elite or are fast enough or disruptive enough on that side of the ball either.
And the thing with the Ravens is when they had games like this, it always felt like you can lean on the offense to bail you out.
Uh-huh.
And for once this year, the offense hasn't always been able to bail them out.
No, they have not. And I didn't watch that side of the ball on film to tell you, but from what I saw watching, of course, the traditional run game did not work for the Baltimore Ravens. And I need to figure out what they did coverage-wise. A lot of the plays I saw, I felt like I saw 2- and 3-man routes down the field by the Ravens when we were watching on TV, and felt like, that's just not going to get it done against a Steve Spagnuolo defense to be able to do that type of stuff there. But, yeah, I think people have maybe caught on to a little bit of their shotgun play action way down the field. Zay Flowers does a post corner or a deep crosser, and somebody else. People are learning how to defend that. I don't think Lamar is quite as dangerous running as he used to be, right? I mean, just father time.
Now he's hurt.
Yeah, and he's hurt. And then they were unable to dominate the line of scrimmage in a way that we're accustomed to. They've always, if they haven't been a fast team, they've been able to rely on their big and their physicality, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've never been super fast, but they've been always super big to where you go, they got guys inside that can both two-gap. They got DNs that are big and strong as hell, so they could always hedge on, hey, let's play pass defense because our big guys up front will them up in the run game, and we can now have another guy to help in the pass defense. Right now, they don't have that luxury, and that's where they're really in a tough spot.
Greatness Calls said, damn, okay, Chiefs, for hopefully telling the national media this Lamar and Harbaugh era needs to be over.
Well, I'm not ready to go there yet.
Maybe a step too far?
No, but I think to the point of Greatness Calls here, I think there's a lot of people in the NFL that think this could be a thing of if they don't get deep into the playoffs,
then they underachieved.
I think there's a lot of people in football think that, not only will the shelf life of this team be over, but people will go, maybe just John Harbaugh has run his course in Baltimore, right? Maybe he needs to go somewhere else and needs a fresh start, and we need a fresh start here too, right? It's not because you're firing him because of lack of results. They've been one of the best teams in football under John Harbaugh. That's undeniable. Yeah, we can all argue, should they have gotten to Super Bowls more or won more Super Bowls? Yeah, maybe. But, they've also run into like two of the greater dynasties we've seen in the Patriots and the Chiefs where they had to deal with that. And that's just not that easy either. But I do think those things will come about a little bit here if the results don't start showing on the field.
They got to get it going or else the playoffs are going to be in jeopardy, which is wild to say about this Ravens team. Here's the fallout of why it could go from bad to even worse. Lamar Jackson could miss 2 to 3 weeks with the hamstring injury. He was pressured on 48.1% of his dropbacks against the Chiefs. That's the highest pressure rate he's faced.
And what do you know, like blitz rate by them at all?
I could pull that up for the Chiefs.
But keep going, keep going on here. Let me keep.
So he was bad under pressure. He was 4-9 for 62 yards a pick. He took 3 sacks. He was
2 weeks in a row. They've not been good under pressure, and they've been exposed, I think, a little bit with their protection plan, what we talked about with Detroit last week.
Same thing. There was always a second guy there to kind of rally to him when he beats the first guy. He was sacked on 31% of his pressured dropbacks. That's the second highest mark among qualified quarterbacks, which we're not used to seeing with Lamar.
Nope.
And here's the problem with the defense. Roquan Smith is going to miss a few weeks with a hamstring strain. Marlon Humphrey is expected to miss a few weeks with a calf. Nnamdi Madubuike will miss the rest of the season with a neck injury. There's not help on the way. They're losing people right now.
And I know Travis Jones didn't play the other day either. I don't know how long he's out.
We don't have Wednesday injury reports yet, but my goodness.
But either way, they need him is the bottom line. They really do.
The only thing they could hope for is that the schedule just softens up at some point. But I don't know. I guess we'll see if this offense can make an adjustment with the backup to stay afloat.
I know. I don't know. I'm going to be interested here. They're in trouble. And Pete, you said what in my ear? Oh, and all right. So and they brought 22.2% blitz. The Chiefs there.
It's not
Yeah,
not crazy at all, to be honest with you.
I'm sure it was timely,
Right.
With Spags, it was probably timely, right at the right moments, certain third downs, certain second downs where he had a feel that they were going to drop back and pass and be able to do that way. But yeah, the Ravens on offense, I don't. If Lamar's in there, I'm not going to lose hope with that. I mean, the offense has been pretty damn good all year. It's the defense that's a joke, and it's the defense that we look at and I go, a little bit like we've talked about with some other teams. I don't see like the Bengals or the Jets offense. I don't see a silver lining to go, ooh, wait, it's close. If this guy gets healthy or they just do this, they're about to be a handful on that side of the ball. No, I'm legitimately worried about what's going on there.
So the Chiefs blitzed on 11 passes.
Okay.
They faced 41 dropbacks. They blitzed 11 times. But on third down, they actually kind of like pulled the rug out from it. They only blitzed 3 times.
So they went second down blitzes and stuff like that where they did it. And then they played coverage on third down to stop all the weapons and keep eyes on Lamar so he couldn't run for first downs and do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And even on those 3 blitzes on the third downs, which is really low, one time they blitzed the slot corner.
Right.
One time they blitzed an outside corner.
Right.
The other time it was just a standard 5-man rush.
Yeah.
So they weren't like giving up a lot on the back end. It was just one guy and trying to be a little creative to catch them off guard.
Right.
And it worked.
It worked.
Spags
definitely did. Spags is a genius.
Got it going.
I mean, Spags is a Hall of Fame coordinator. He's a guy. Guys like him got to get in the Hall of Fame. That's what's got to change there. He's a master. He really is, and he always seems to find ways or do the right thing on that side of the ball. And of course, that keeps them afloat. While the offense finds a way here, and here we are. Okay, they're going to feel good. They did good this week. Now they're going to have a little. Their chests are going to be out. They're going to be able to build on that. And yes, oddly enough, as I was down on the Chiefs, the fact that they got to the quick passing game and did some of that stuff and the way Xavier Worthy looked, there is a silver lining there. And then you start to go, ooh, okay, I see something here. They can build on this going forward. And I know with this guy right here, no, I thought it was Mahomes. With Mahomes, a guy like that, it's just he's going to stay on the team. And they're a driven bunch out there in Kansas City. Incredible leadership, grit, and toughness, and stubbornness and Jim Ratness going. I know that goes on with the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that's questionable about the Baltimore Ravens, right? And it's quite. I talked about it with Devin on Sunday night. There's a grittiness and a toughness an intensity that to me lacks in Baltimore a little bit. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but they're certainly not on the same level as the Chiefs in that department, that's for sure.
We're going to take our last break. When we're back, is Puka Nacua the best wide receiver in the league? We're going to get into it.
Deep thoughts.
I've been coaching for a while, so I've seen a lot of really good football players. Most recently, the year Cooper Kupp had, Triple Crown winning that year was just absurd to watch. And even here in Atlanta with Julio, so I've seen some really talented players, but Bijan is right up there, if not at the top, with wow moments. His ability to make you miss, his ability to cut, his ability to go vertical fast. Other than getting caught yesterday, he's the slowest guy on our team. His ability to do all those special things those are for sure wow moments.
That was Raheem Morris on his superstar running back, Bijan Robinson. How about a new segment here, Chris? The upper echelons.
I like it.
Straight out of a Simmsism.
You're going to start to learn the English language.
The other English language.
Exactly, right.
Very
Chris
good.
Sims English language.
I'm very down.
1,000 cuts by death.
Yes, right? See, that one at least makes sense. Kind of. We're going to look at 5 players who are off to hot starts. And
let's start with him, just because we're here.
Bijan?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to
right
now. I don't even want to call this a hot start. I just think this is who he is.
Yeah, right.
Like, I confidently watch him, and I'm like, oh, this dude is insanely special.
It's insane. I mean, we've seen him. We saw him doing this stuff at Texas. I mean, Bijan Robinson, without a doubt, needs to be in the upper echelons, okay? There's no question about that. And I think maybe I wouldn't put him as the top pure running back, right? There's other guys that maybe I like a little bit more in that department, but still he's awesome at that. I think where you can legitimately have a real argument to me is he might be the most complete running back in football, right? I mean, as far as the run game, pass game, run between the tackles good, on the edge is good. In the pass game, he's good for 2 or 3 catches every game where you go, holy shit, look at him in space. He breaks a guy's ankles. as we heard there with Raheem Morris, there's only one issue in his game as compared to maybe some of the other stars of Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley. He can't go 80 to the house, right?
He gets caught.
He can get vertical in a hurry, like you heard Raheem. As far as 0 to 60 and getting to top speed, he does that in like 3 steps. But his 6th gear, right, that doesn't go zoom back like to 200 miles per hour like the other guys do, right? That's the only issue.
And those opportunities are a little few and far between.
They are. They're few and far between.
In the NFL, not
exactly
in college.
Right.
Yeah.
They're few and far between. You don't judge a guy necessarily in that as much in the NFL. You'd like to have that. But, yeah, I am blown away by his ability to jump cut at full speed, running, the spin moves at full speed, the hands and catching the ball in awkward positions. And then, of course, he's physical too, and he can bounce off tackles and run people over and do all that. He's a phenomenal football player, and they've realized how to use him, I think, finally there in Atlanta, and we're seeing that all kind of come together.
It feels like the Falcons have really embraced, or starting to embrace, like, hey, can you just be our Marshall Faulk?
Yeah, right.
Like, we want you
That's
to
a great example.
Every single, because, I mean, over 100 receiving yards. The wheel route throw from Penix was
awesome.
It felt like it was like a second late, and it didn't matter because his arms so strong. Like, he put it on such a line.
Right.
It was a really, really awesome throw. So, yeah, this feels like he's in the upper echelons, right?
I think so.
How many running backs would you take over him today? Okay. Not for the next 4 years. Okay. Because in the next 4 years combo, I think it's him. I think it's...
He's right out. Yeah, you're right. I mean, okay, right now, today. You're saying today.
Yeah. Like, would you take Saquon over him?
Yes, I would right now.
Jonathan Taylor?
Ooh, that's the close one.
I know.
That's the really close one. I'm a sucker for the big play to probably, I would say yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it's
but it's close. No disrespect to Bijan. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm taking over.
Okay.
All right? After we get to that right there, that might be the group, really.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, there's some good running backs right now. I mean, I do love me some Bucky Irving. I do love me some Kyron Williams, but I'm not going to take him over him. No, I think that's probably the group right there. I love Josh Jacobs and the way he plays and runs, but he's not as dynamic as Bijan Robinson. Right. Yeah. He's a between the tackles extraordinaire. So, yeah, I think that's about it right there, man.
Well, let's go to Jonathan Taylor, who you just kind of took over him, but it felt like the closest thing to a tie.
Yeah.
It feels like this Colts offense can just so consistently run through him when they need to.
Yeah, I think he's really good at catching the ball. He's not as talented as Bijan catching the ball, but still catches it for sure, right? Can run hard between the tackles. He may be a little more different than Bijan is, his ability to skate and break your ankles and do this stuff and the jump cuts. Like, I don't know if there's anybody in football that can do that like he can. I mean, that's where he might be at the top of the list in that department. Jonathan Taylor is a little bit more get the ball and just zoom. And he's just like, whoa, he got through that hole quick. Whoa, there was 2 defenders closing and he split them. Right? Where Bijan probably can't split them and he's got to be like, I got to hit the brakes and make one of you miss, right? That's kind of the difference there. But, Jonathan Taylor is a phenomenal player, and I'm just maybe one of those guys that's a little bit sometimes of like, score from anywhere at any time. Right. I put a little more value on it maybe than other people do.
Yeah, to your breakaway point, I mean, this is somebody that I think because of his size, people miss this. He was a back-to-back New Jersey state champion in the 100-meter.
I know, right.
Like, it's insane. Out of this world.
Right. And New Jersey, it's not Texas and Florida, but New Jersey's still fast. Yeah. New Jersey's got a lot of speed and athletes. So, yeah, I mean, his speed is real, as we see almost on a weekly basis right now. And that's what's awesome about that offense is Steichen just knows how to get guys in space. Like we're seeing with Tyler Warren, we see with him, we see with whatever receiver it is of the day that kind of always has a few opportunities. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Taylor.
I think those are the 2 easy ones. Yeah. Now we kind of crank up the difficulty.
I know. Right.
James Cook.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, he's going to have all the stats with everybody.
Right.
How do you stack him up in an offense that it clearly gives him the right opportunities?
Yeah,
he doesn't have to be the guy.
Right.
But it still feels like he does make the most of what his touches are.
I think so, too. And, I didn't bring him up with some of those guys we just mentioned, and I think I should have. I do think I should have. Does he make as many as impressive 5- and 8-yard runs as Bijan? No, he doesn't do that. He's awesome in the pass game, and he has better long speed than Bijan. But I think of the guys we talked about, at least that I looked at to go, hey, they're super elite, right? And all that. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, I brought up Kyron Williams, who I think is awesome. Christian McCaffrey when he's really healthy. Yeah. Saquon Barkley and all that. Derrick Henry, of course. I think that James Cook deserves to be in that group. I do. Now, it might not be quite as impressive as some of those guys between the tackles, but I think it's better than people realize. He's not like a bruiser, but, man, he runs hard. He does bounce off tackles and do some impressive things there. So I, as of right now, will sit here and tell you I think he's upper echelons. I do. He's the most explosive guy on that Bills offense not named Josh Allen. And he's rare in that I do think he's a guy that can score from anywhere on the field. You don't agree with me, though. You don't think he's upper echelons. You think he's, like, real good but not there?
Yeah, I think the problem is, and I do think it's gone too far where James Cook gets no credit because he's on the Bills.
Right.
I think that's where it's wrong.
Right.
Because the combo was, well, the Bills shouldn't pay him. You could just put Ray Davis in there.
Yeah, and it's like, no.
And that's not fair.
That's not fair.
That is not
Definitely
fair to James Cook because he's a lot better than
that.
I guess where I look at the upper echelons is how many players do I get?
Yeah.
And I guess for me, I know I'm taking Saquon, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, and Gibbs.
Right.
So what is the cutoff?
Yeah.
Right? If I get a fifth, the fact that he's making a real run at 5 says a lot.
It does.
Like, how do I value Bucky Irving and Etienne and
McCaffrey?
McCaffrey still.
Yes. I don't know. Did you say Derrick Henry?
Didn't say Derrick Henry.
No, right. Because I'm agree with you. I think the guys you said are in a little bit of a different class than everybody else.
Yep.
And then there's some real argument about who kind of comes next.
And here's a fun one for you. I wouldn't be shocked if in 6 weeks we're like, is Amari and Hampton fifth?
Well, I definitely looked at it for sure. Right.
I can't say it now.
Right.
But I think in 6 weeks I might say
We're going to talk about the Giants defense in tomorrow's pod, right, for the Wednesday pod. And, yeah, there's some things to talk about with Omari and Hampton and how he looked in that game. But, yes, I agree with you. Kenneth Walker would be another guy that could be in that second group there. And honestly, almost on the fringe of the first group in my eyes a little bit. I'm a huge Kenneth Walker fan, but you got to be able to do it consistently for a full season. We just never have seen that from him. So, yeah, I think we're on the same page. I just probably think a hair higher of James Cook than you do, I guess.
So here's a fun one that I don't think anyone listening will realize unless you're a Jaguars fan. Travis Etienne Jr. right now.
Yeah.
Week 4 against the Niners.
I deliberately didn't say his name just for this. Right.
Yeah. 19 carries, 124 yards and a touchdown. On the season, he is 6 yards away from 400 rushing yards.
Right.
He's third in the NFL. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not going to lie, Chris. This is the one before the year I thought he was done.
Right.
I was like, you got to get Bashaw Tootin involved. You got to tank Bigsby before they
I've been the
traded him.
Tank Bigsby fan. I've been the one being like, hey, Bigsby's better than Etienne. I said that all last year.
It felt that way. I don't know if he's just he wasn't healthy for so long that now he is, but this is the one I am most surprised by.
He looks more explosive to me, and maybe that is the health. I also think the diversity in the run game is really helped him. Liam Cohen is really good in the run game. And from everything I know, really good in keys for the running backs, too, and what to read and certain plays and, when to know to hit the hole and when to be a little slower and read your blocks and all that, right? That's where they're special. That's where you saw Bucky Irving be so awesome last year and, of course, into this year. He's still awesome. But, no, I think if you talk to the guys I watch the games with on Sunday, I have, in the last 3 weeks, have been like, man, Etienne he's hitting the hole. It's like, holy shit, he's running with aggression to the point where I think he's injected himself into this conversation. I don't know if I'm going to put him there quite with Jonathan Taylor and Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs and James Cook, like I said, and all that, quite there, but it's damn close. And again, I think that second group of guys we talked about, I go, if you ordered it and put him at the top of the second group of guys, I wouldn't be like, oh, no, that's crazy. And again, he's another example because he's been a part of offenses where they have it's inside zone or outside zone. Right? And that's just not conducive for everybody. And not everybody can block it and always get to the second level and make it work. I think you're seeing some run game versatility with them right now, and they've become a lot better at it. And I think he's keyed into certain things to make himself more assertive and seeing holes and hitting the hole and doing that. And you're seeing his true talent come about, let alone I think we're getting to contract year. As we know, that always puts a little fire up everybody's ass. Yeah, exactly right.
All right, our last one, and we got the homies chiming in here. Jake Scanlon goes,
a good one.
Damn, okay, Puka Nacua, an absolute machine of a football player. Where does he deserve to be ranked amongst the best wide receivers? Chris, I texted you guys this weekend, and I said,
"It's a great job by you," because I was hearing this too, and I'm glad you put this out there.
It feels like everybody was finally buzzing all at once. Why do we not talk about Puka Nacua the way we talk about Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill? And I get it. The skill set, totally different.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. But all this dude does is, number one, he's the best blocking receiver in the NFL. Like, bar none.
Without a doubt.
No, but, 15 targets, 13 catches, 170 yards. It feels like when he's healthy, he dominates week in and week out.
I think so. We brought up a few weeks ago, why isn't Jonathan Taylor in the conversation? And I think now we've seen a few games, and everybody's like, hey, yeah, you're right. He is one of those guys. And health was an issue through his career, too. I think to where people will be like, oh, he's one of the best there is. And then he'd disappear for 10 weeks, and we'd be like, oh, we forgot about him. This deserves the attention it's getting on social media. I think it's fair. I'm disappointed in myself a little bit that I haven't been like, why the don't we do this? I usually pride myself in trying to give that guy their due, but I think he deserves to be in that combo. There's really no weakness to Puka. I think that's the big thing you look at. So yeah, he's not as explosive as Jamar Chase, but it's not far behind, and he's bigger and way more physical. Right. Okay, he might not be quite the route runner Justin Jefferson is, but it's close, and he ain't far behind. And where I would say is, I don't know. Again, I think he's more physical, and if you told me which one I'd want to throw a go route to, I'd go, it's close. I might want to throw it to Puka. I think Puka can run by you every bit the same way Justin Jefferson can. So, yeah, he deserves to be in that conversation. Over the middle and physicality catches, he's the best. Taking on big shots, breaking arm tackles, getting another 5-10 yards after the catch, there's no doubt about it. So I think our bottom line here and what we're saying is, yeah, he deserves to be in that conversation. He is extremely well-rounded, let alone explosive, a tackle breaker, and then they know how to use him. And they know how to use him, and they know how to keep doubles off of him. That's where the Rams are really good. And yeah, it's every week he shows up, man.
The alignments are awesome.
Right.
So
tell me about him.
He's obviously through 4 weeks. He's played out wide the most, 109 snaps. He's played 85 snaps in the slot. But getting to your point of kind of hiding him at times, he's played 6 snaps as a tight end, and he's played 4 snaps in the backfield.
Yeah.
And those are just the basic alignments.
Right.
They move him from different actual spots.
They stack him behind guys.
Stack him. They move him on the left side, the right side, the bunches. So these are all the big picture alignments. But when you look at the 85 slot snaps, it's broken up into 8 different variations of playing in the slot.
Yeah.
So I think that, though, is part of the combo. And I've fallen victim to this until now. I think people are like, oh, it's a Sean McVay merchant.
Yeah.
But he's not.
No.
It's not like Sean McVay can just go find somebody in the 5th round next year and be like, okay, you're now Puka Nacua.
No.
Puka has showed that he's special in his own way.
Definitely. And they're special at having an eye for guys in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round out there at the Los Angeles Rams. They're amazing at it. They really are.
It always cracks me up that they're the picks team.
Yeah.
Because they dominate.
They dominate their picks. Right.
Like, no, they don't need 9 picks in a draft because they'll smash 4.
Because the 5 they did killed it. Exactly right. I'm with you. I've been on that all along as well. But bottom line is, yeah, you're right. And I think the McVay Stafford thing probably takes away from him a little bit. But physically, he's better than Cooper Kupp in his prime. That's what I would say for sure. And, yeah, he's a special damn football player who, like we said, I think the biggest thing is just no weakness that he brings to the table. You can't look at one area and go, ooh, he's not good at that. Watch out. He can catch a screen and get upfield. He might not go 80 like Jamar Chase, but he can get 20, 30, 40 as good as anybody else in the sport, and that's where he's awesome.
One last note on Puka. He joined Eric Moulds, obviously 2002 Bills, and TJ Houshmandzadeh, 2007 Bengals, as the only players in NFL history with at least 8 catches in each of his team's first 4 games of a season.
Yeah, well,
so he's off to a historic start.
A historic start, and they know how to feed their guys. I mean, McVay's amazing at that.
One quick note to the homies. NBC and YouTube are in negotiations on a new agreement as the old agreement expires tonight. So if they don't reach a new agreement, any new Chris Simms Unbuttoned shows and clips won't be visible on YouTube tomorrow. Please find us on Peacock, NBCSports.com, or wherever you get your podcast to listen to your podcast. We know it sucks. We're hoping for a conclusion pretty quickly.
Out, right.
But just want to
we're letting you know.
Stop the panic.
That's where you got to find us, all right? You got to find us somewhere else for at least the foreseeable future until this contract gets done.
But we're not stopping. We're doing another podcast.
We'll be right back at you tomorrow. Wednesday pod's coming at you. We got lots of good stuff to talk about. We're going to break down a few things. We're going to look ahead to week 5. We got all that going. Connor Rogers, you the man, as always. All right, homies, subscribe, rate, review. You know where to find us. Send in the questions. We'll see you on the Wednesday pod. Peace out. Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.